nice little thing, we pursue her. See a nice little thing, we pursue her. Yeah.
All right, so now I'm gonna get into your transition to becoming your own boss. You know, really, a lot of people talk about it, and even in my life, I feel like I'm not. Consulting business is different than, even though you do consult, I see yours as like truly your own business. You're stepping out. It's a little bit different than a lot of the businesses that I deal with. Was it scary for you to go from working for a company to just being like, and I think it was like during the wasn't it around there?
Yeah.
During the pandemic, to just say, yeah, I think I'm about to just do this on my own. Like, how was that? Because did you get to keep certain clients, lose clients? Like, I'm sure you didn't know initially.
No, I didn't know, what was going to happen. But I had gotten to the point where, well, first of all, let me step back a little bit. I always knew, before I knew that I wanted to be an interior designer, I just knew that I wanted to be my own boss. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what industry that was. I didn't know where I was going to be. But I just knew, I was like, whatever I do, I'm going to be the boss. Like, I want to make the decisions. I don't want people, I don't like people telling me what to do a lot.
Especially now in your space.
Right.
Because
it's
like that's
just
your relationship.
in general, in life, I'm like, I don't like too much input on all of my decision making. So I always knew that I wanted to be my own boss. Then once I, started down the interior design path, I was like, they in school start talking about you can work for a firm, you can have your own firm, you can do big, you can do boutique. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to have my own firm. Like, that was always my goal and my plan. I wanted to go and work for another designer fresh out of school so I could learn, get hands-on experience, make some mistakes. In the beginning, we all always do. And I was planning to do that just for a couple years. It ended up being between two. So I had one job in LA, which is where I went to school. And then I went to New York. So between all that time, it was probably like 6.5, 7 years that I was working for someone else.
Sure, it went by fast.
It did.
And you get comfortable, right?
I got comfortable.
Yeah.
And it was hard to walk away from something that was just steady and, comfortable. I had my life and everything. I knew when my paycheck was coming. I knew, where I had to be, at what time and all of that. So probably a year before I had started my business, I just had that itch again. So usually when things happen for me, like before a big transition, I just start to feel like I get these little like ideas, right, that keep floating around in my head and they keep popping back. And I was like, oh, I feel like I'm actually ready now to start my own business, right? It just kept coming and flowing. And I was talking to different people and some people who had their own business. And they were all really encouraging and like, yeah, you should do it. But I was still stuck on the how. Like, okay, I know that I want this and I have some skills and I have some background, but I don't know anything about running a business. I only know interior design and me and how do I get clients and how do I do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. So I probably sat on that for about a year and just brainstorming about what my business name was going to be and, all the things that come along with that. And the pandemic happened and the interior design industry was booming.
Because
everybody's
home.
Everybody was home. Everybody had extra money. They weren't going out. They weren't taking vacations.
The stimmies.
So let's redo the house.
So
right?
did you, I heard you say before that some of your best clients were people that were doing the PPP scams. And even though I don't agree with the scams, that helped you out.
Wait. What did I say?
No, I'm just joking.
Never
Just joking. To each their own, though. We ain't judging, but yeah, that's definitely. But people being home more, and it's funny how
it was the perfect combination of people being forced to be home and people just having extra money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and things I'm a big believer in sometimes things will align, for you. When you're clear on exactly where you want to go, then even if it's like just a little bit of an alignment, you'll see it and it'll be very clear to just go for it.
Yeah.
And
Because
that's
had I just said when I first got the idea to start my own business, it was probably maybe like 7 or 8 months before the pandemic. So had I stepped out on my own, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. At that point in time, I wouldn't have had the same success, I think.
What did it do for your confidence to walk into a situation that was scary, approach it head on? It is what it is. I'm leaving my company. I'm leaving my steady paycheck, everything that you said, the schedule. It's kind of, I was joking around earlier and I said like, yo, I really my day is just whatever I decide it is. That could be bad or it could be good,
Right.
And fortunately for me, I like to stay busy, you know what I mean? But
Me
that's
too.
very scary for
Right.
people that may not like to stay busy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because like, how were you able to, I don't even want to say fix your schedule around, but what did it do when you started to build your clientele and you felt like, at what point was it like, this is going to work? Or did you just feel like that all
Pretty
along?
instantly.
You just
I mean,
see, that's
I
the energy.
had clients pretty instantly when I left, which was a blessing. And that doesn't happen for everyone, but it definitely made the transition
Right.
so much easier and smoother. At my old job, I was already managing all of my projects on my own, all of my clients on my own, my schedule, my time, what I was doing. And it was almost like my job and the company was just like the hub center, filtering in, the jobs and the clients, but everything else I was doing on my own already. So it was when I went out on my own, it was figuring out how to run the business side, not how to do the design and the
Right.
process and the scheduling and all that. That I already knew how to do. It was how do I run the business?
Right. And I don't want people watching to miss this, like miss the lesson here where a lot of us, especially with the young people, they want everything instant. It's like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. Like if you go to probably talk to elementary or maybe middle school, high school kids and you ask them what they want to do, influencer is probably in there now. But
Yeah.
it's like, I want to be my own boss. But there's certain steps that you take
Yeah.
that you took to get to that position where it's like, I'm already doing this, I'm already doing that. So you did the prep work, like you did everything. You went through the rite of passage or whatever you want to call it. And I think that's something very important for a lot of people to understand if they are looking to go out on their own, if they are looking to become their own boss, become an entrepreneur, that you have to be more on point. Like there's
Yeah.
like with everybody wants the freedom, but
But
the
they don't always want to do
responsibility,
the work
right,
to get
right.
there.
Exactly. So
And in being your own boss or being a consultant, you have to have discipline.
Yeah.
You don't have anyone standing over your head other than your clients, right? Of, okay, make sure you're here at this time, wake up at here, and this is what you have to do today, and make sure you turn this in by Friday, and, everything like that. Like, now that's you doing that.
and if you're not, that's when losing a client is not fun.
It's not.
Yeah.
People can see behind the bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's an awkward position to be in where you're in a meeting and it's like, I know that I'm coming across like I didn't prepare for this. I haven't been on point. I know hopefully we can get another shot at this, but
Have you had that
sometimes you
conversation
don't.
before?
I haven't. Trying to think. I've been pretty fortunate to. I'm very anal when it comes to that. So I will go above and beyond to make sure that I'm prepared. But it does happen to where there's certain clients. Let's say I didn't check on how a doctor's day went. Their surgeries, I wasn't on point with that. And you learn very quickly where it's like, wait, they didn't reach out to me and tell me it's a problem. But no, I have to be proactive and consistently reach out. And the more we build that relationship, they'll express certain things to me
Right.
and feel more comfortable. Now, sometimes you'll get some clients that are just like, I don't know. I always put it on me. I'm always like, what could I have done, better? And there have been some
everything
clients.
is a learning experience.
Everything's a learning experience. Some people are gonna, if somebody leaves, I immediately go through this phase where I'm like, all right, every little thing, what could I have done better? But because if I don't do that, then I'm just playing the blame game, and that's not helping me.
Right.
That's not helping me get new clients. That's not helping me become better to the clients that I still do have. It just doesn't necessarily work. But I think that there's a certain type of person that you need to become to take that step, that leap, that jump, whatever it is, to become an entrepreneur. I know everybody puts it on YouTube, like it's easy. You only see the fun side of stuff. You only see like even me today, like I was in the city moving around, but I only took a picture of the plaza. So probably my friends probably think like I don't even work. Like most of them are like, yo, what are you doing? You kind of just chill out. I'm like, well.
Right. I'm guilty of that too. Like I like to post like the fun stuff and the pretty stuff, and look at me, putting the accessories out, and I'm shopping for rugs, and I'm here doing the presentation, but like not all the hard stuff that happens.
Camera woman, wake up! Sorry, our director had a little lapse. But yeah, you were saying as far as you put it's cool to post the fun stuff.
It is. But people also like to see.
People like to see, you got to post what people like to see, And so I definitely get that. And we're always selling to people that we don't even know. Is that how you look at it? Like with your social media, everything that you do with people seeing you as an expert in design, it's almost like you have to make sure that you're always seen in a light where it could be even your clothes, that you're always looking presentable. Because I assume that nobody would want to hire a designer that comes in looking sloppy. It's kind of like.
I assume the same.
Right. You know what I mean?
If I'm hiring a designer, like I want to see someone who's got some style, who's put together. Even when I'm in like, maybe I'm in, dressed down, but it's still stylish. It's still cute.
I did that the other day when I was in Trader Joe's, and I felt like, you feel me? I had a little cool young dad swag. You feel me?
But you want to feel good too.
Yeah,
even when you're just down, you want to feel good.
Yeah, like the lady in the produce, she gave me a little compliment. It made me feel good. But neither here nor there. But yeah, there's a lot of pros that come into, I feel like being an entrepreneur. What would you say some of the disadvantages or some of the challenges, not necessarily disadvantages, but challenges that you faced, either just with interior design overall or with transitioning to become an entrepreneur?
Well, first, something that we already mentioned is that you don't have a boss, right? So you have to transition. It's a different thought process and a different mindset when you become your own boss, right? You're only answering to yourself. And anything that you are setting out to do and policies and whatever that you're making, like, you get to decide all that, right? But you also want to make sure that you're being fair to the person on the receiving end, right? So it's not just all about me, this is how I want to do it because this is how I'm comfortable. I also have to make sure that, like, okay, my clients are going to be comfortable with this. Like, I charge a design fee. It's a flat fee. I don't ask my clients to pay the whole thing up front, right? Why are you going to pay me the whole design fee up front? You haven't even seen anything yet.
That's true.
So it's beneficial to charge, 50%, right? And then we'll do a series of payments after that. Of course, I would love to get a big lump sum check for the whole thing up front, but I don't think that's fair to my clients.
And it also may throw off the dynamics of you guys going through the process.
Right.
To where they're feeling like, what I mean?
Yeah, the biggest thing in establishing a relationship between designer and client is trust and transparency. Those are the two biggest things. So I always try to make sure that, number one, I'm explaining things well, and number two, I'm being fair and I'm being honest. And
managing
open.
Expectations.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one.
It is.
Especially even when I asked you earlier as far as which would you like, the blank canvas where somebody's just maybe buying a new home or getting rid of everything, or, something where there's already here. You get the benefit when they already have a space with stuff, it's like, all right, I know what they liked. I see where the bar is. I can,
Yeah,
you know
but,
what I mean?
Like
But
that is sometimes also a disadvantage
Yeah.
because you see what they have, and which is not what they want.
and it should, yeah.
And so you kind of have to go like, just throw it all out the window.
Yeah.
But how do I keep some of it and use it and make it new? Make
That's
it feel
dope.
new.
Big fish, we the ones that you wanna get with. Took a couple L's, rung a couple